Hello and welcome to Silverstone. This is round 8 of Season 2 of F1 2013 Career Mode, here for the British Grand Prix. It's raining of course, and we're in qualifying 3. We managed to get out of the first 2 qualifying sessions fairly easily, so there's no point in showing those. So here we are at the start of Q3, ready to start our very first hot lap of the session, and we've slammed straight into the wall at turn 1. What an absolute pillock. I didn't actually spot the first corner there. The wall sort of blends in with the road there, and it really caught me out there. So unfortunately, we're going to lose a lot of time in this session having to repair the car, and it looks like there's 2 minutes left in the session. So we've got just enough time to get back out there, put in one absolute stunning lap, and then see where we end up at the end of the session. So the first 2 qualifying sessions, if I didn't mention before, were dry. So this is going to be my first cider of a wet qualifying track. And now Mark Webber gets in the way, and that's pretty much our qualifying session over. So with that distraction, we've lost a couple of seconds, and I don't think we're going to get any higher than 10th, and we don't.
You'll be starting in 10th on the grid, so a little below where we expected, but we're still in a good position for the race tomorrow.
So there we go, starting from 10th place. It's going to be very tough from here. Wish me luck for the race. Alright, so here we are on the grid of the British Grand Prix, round 8 of Season 2 of F1 2013 Career Mode. We showed some good pace in the dry and qualifying. Can we convert that into this race start here? Away we go, and we've got off to a nice start. A little bit of wheel spin, to be honest, and that's going to cost us through 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gears. One of the Lotuses tries to go around the outside of us into turn 1. We managed to hold position, but now we've spun off the back of Massa, and we're into the wall. We've lost our front wing. Our race is surely over now. On the replay, yeah, we just got tangled up on the right rear of Felipe Massa's car, and our front wing just blew off there. So now we've got to limp this thing back into the pits as slowly as possible. Let's not make any mistakes by spinning out or anything like that. But it looks like the backmarker teams are going so slowly that I'm actually able to pass them without a front wing, and now I'm understeering like crazy because it's a high-speed corner and there's just no grip through high-speed corners, obviously, because I have no front downforce. Now going up the inside of like 5 cars there, and there we go, we're now up in 18th place, but these guys are surely going to get this position back as soon as we get into the high-speed parts of Madcatz, Beckett's and Chapel, etc. So basically what we've got to do is just limp this thing back into the pits. So we've managed to do that, conceded about 1 or 2 spots off camera there, but now we're coming in for our first pit stop of the day. It's a little bit earlier than what I was planning to do. I think the first stop was supposed to be around lap 15 or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a set of option tyres. I'm going to pretty much run the race as I was previously. I don't want to sort of venture too far away from the strategy that I was originally going to run with. So pit stop is a 5.6 second stop. Pretty slow in all honesty. And we're going to lose a whole bunch of time in this pit lane because it's actually one of the slowest pit lane transitions on the whole calendar, because the pit lane is so long and you're going so slowly over the course of the pit lane. So now lap 6, we've caught up to the back of Guido van der Garde, and we're going to snatch off last place away from him, and he's promoted down to last place. So there we go, we gained 1 position. It's taken 6 laps to do so. Now we've caught up to the back of the 2 Marussias. We got up the inside of Max Chilton there, and we get position 20 there. So yeah, finally starting to make up the positions. Yeah, obviously we've got a long way to go ahead of us if we want to get into the points. So basically what we've got to do for the next 20 or pretty much the next 50 laps is we've just got to get our heads down and just push like crazy and look after the tyres at the same time. It's going to be very tough as we lose a position there to Jules Bianchi. I think we just locked up there and just ran wide. So unfortunate, but yeah, as I said before, we've just got to push like crazy and save the tyres. It's going to be some task here at Silverstone, one of the toughest tracks on the calendar for tyre wear, and yeah, we'll just see where we end up at the end of the day. Now we've caught up to the back of Charles Peak a couple corners later, and we should snatch up P18, and yes we do. So next up is Pastor Maldonado, and 3 laps later we've managed to catch up to the back of him in that Williams that seems to be really struggling compared to the rest of the field. He's actually not too far up the road from the back markers, which is just shows how poor this Williams is in 2013. But we fly up the inside of him into the old turn 1. And there we go, P17 for the taking. Vettel goes fastest there. Not too sure what his time was, but he's absolutely flying at the moment. Now, lap 11, we caught up to the back of one of the Toro Rossos there. Fly up the inside, and we run wide there, but we managed to hold position there nicely. So, next up is Valtteri Bottas in another Williams, which seems to be struggling for straight line speed, and we get him once again into the old turn 1 complex. So, P15 at the moment, we're thinking about a pit stop anytime soon, and here we are, coming in for our very first pit stop of the day, scheduled pit stop that is, and we'll be looking to put on a set of prime tyres, which should last about 20 laps, I want to say. I've come in a little bit earlier than what I was scheduled to do. I just want to do the undercut and try and gain some kind of time over the rest of the AI cars, so I've got something to fight with for the rest of the race. We'll see how it goes really, but I'm going to need to pretty much preserve these prime tyres in the second and third stints if I want to make this strategy work. So hopefully it works out. The prime tyres are pretty durable, but Silverstone, as I said before, is very harsh on the tyres. So now lap 16, Paul di Resta has finally come in for his pit stop, and he's actually lost quite a few seconds to us in the whole pit stop transition, because I think he was about 4 or 5 seconds up the road. He was the next car on my list to get an overtake for, and he actually lost a lot of time by staying out those extra lap or two. So now we're all over the back of him. His tyres are absolutely stone cold at the moment, and we should be able to pass him very soon. But he's getting a bit feisty with us. He doesn't want to lose his position to us, but it doesn't matter too much because we've flown up his inside on the run up to the old turn 1. And here we are, lap 18. We've caught up to the back of Adrian Sutil, the teammate of Paul di Resta, and we're going to fly up the inside of him into turn 1, and there we go, shift down to 5th gear. We've run wide, even though we downshifted, so it's a bit scary there. I think that's just a reason that happened, because there was so much fuel on board, so need to watch out for that. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo, and we fly past him as well. That's now position 12 for the taking. And this race is really flying by in a flash, really. Just a flurry of overtakes now. We're finally getting our way up the field and flying up the inside of Esteban Gutierrez there. We lock up the inside front there, but we should be able to manage that position there, and we do, up into P11. So now the track has sort of got a little bit faster. There was a bit of cloud cover at the start of the race, and now the skies are clearing up. So there's now no danger of any rain today, so that's a positive. So we won't be affected by that. Kimi Räikkönen and I think that's Mark Webber have pulled into the pit lane now for their pit stop. I think the AI cars ran with options as their first 2 stints of the race. I've gone with option prime, so that's why I'm able to stay out a little bit longer, and I'll be coming in this lap. This is the very next lap from when Kimi Räikkönen and Webber pitted. So now I'll be, I put in an absolute stonker of a lap on this lap. I burned a lot of fuel, and hopefully I won't lose too much time to them, if at all. Hopefully they fuel saved, and I might actually be able to jump them here if I get a good pit stop. So Grosjean is following a similar strategy to me. I think he'll be putting on the prime tyres for the very end as well, and he rejoins in front of us as we do a 3.0 second pit stop. So there we go. 33 laps into this race, we're effectively in position 9, so we won't lose any more positions than that. Well, we surely shouldn't if we don't make any more mistakes. So coming out onto the track now, and it looks like we've been jumped by Daniel Ricciardo, who hasn't stopped yet. So as soon as he makes his pit stop, we'll be back into position 9, and we'll just settle into this race nicely. So here we go, final stint of the race. We should be able to take these tyres about 20 laps to the finish, hopefully. According to the game, I should be able to take them about 25 laps, but of course the tyres will be absolutely gone at that stage. So now lap 35, we caught up to the back of Grosjean, who has got the same tyres as me, both compound wise and age wise, so we should be able to fly up the inside of him fairly nicely. And then we go up into position 8. Next up is Felipe Massa, who got in front of Hulkenberg, I believe, who seems to be struggling at this phase of the race. So now we've actually caught up to the back of some back markers here. We throw our hand up in frustration at Jules Bianchi, as I think we might have actually gave him a bit of a nudge on the way through Luffield there. Is that Luffield? I'm not too sure. I'm pretty terrible for corner names on most of the tracks on the F1 calendar, so I apologise for that. But we're going up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg into the old turn 1 complex. I know the name of that corner normally, but just in this commentary I've forgotten it. The name escapes me, so I'm sorry about that. But here we are on lap 42. We've caught up to the back of Mark Webber, and we're probably going to fly up the inside of him into turn 3. And there we go. So Mark Webber is actually running with the option tyres in this final stint of the race. So that's a very interesting tyre choice. I think his tyres might go off quite a bit at the back end of this race. But now, the end of lap 42, we've caught up to the back of Felipe Massa in that Ferrari, which is very good in the straight line, but it's not going to help with the aid of DRS here, and we just fly past him like he's not even there. So there we go into P5, and next up is Sergio Perez. So we're making our way through the field quite nicely when you consider that we started off in last place after the first lap. We were like 20 seconds back from any of the cars ahead of us, so to come from so far back in the field to 4th and now almost 3rd place with our teammate Nico Rosberg just in front of us, it's been an absolutely stunning comeback, but we're not done yet. I still want this podium position. We're going to try and go up the inside through Madcatz, but it doesn't work out through there. We're going to have to settle in behind and maybe wait for the DRS. Me and Rosberg in the last couple of races, we've been getting really feisty with each other, and this rivalry is definitely stepping up a notch into this mid-season phase of the championship. But we managed to get 3rd place and a podium position for the taking with only 3 laps to go in this race. So now Fernando Alonso is a long way up the road. He's 40 seconds plus up the road, so unfortunately we just won't be able to catch him. We've come to the end of the race. My tyres are absolutely shot. I'm shot. Let's just cross this line and get this race over and done with. And what a race that was. Just unbelievable. I can't believe I managed to come through the field from 22nd after the first lap to come through, past all those cars, and then finally get 3rd place.
That's a great 3rd place. Congratulations, 15 points.
Thank you, engineer. I just can't believe how we did that, to be honest. A track like Silverstone, we dropped about 40 seconds after the first lap. We managed to save the tyres despite driving so aggressively, and to finish 3rd was just a great result for myself and the team. Unfortunately, my teammate Nico Rosberg there got a penalty, so that's going to cost us in the Constructors, so a bit unfortunate there. There was actually 22 finishes in this Grand Prix, which is pretty surprising. Yep, so we've maintained 3rd place in the standings. We've lost a couple of points to Fernando Alonso and a bunch of points to Sebastian Vettel, so we'll need to make up for those points in the future races of the championship. But today, I'm pretty happy with the result today. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the race too. Until the next race in Germany, I'll see you guys next time.
Take this poison for your mind. Who knows, you could be gone by this time tomorrow.